Hello sewing friends, Deb here with another episode of Friday Sews. Okay, first thing, I wanted to just answer your comments. I've been online and tried to answer them. I've been reading them as we've been going through the week. So thank you to all of you that said, please don't change, and you loved my rather haphazard way of making videos, and you didn't mind that I'm not that professional about it. I think I probably break every rule in the YouTube book. Yeah, I will try and get better though, because I think you deserve to be able to see and hear me properly at least. Yes, so what else was in the comments? I wrote a few notes, things I wanted to pick out. Oh yes, a few of you enjoyed my stories of bugs and how much they love me. Pinky from Pinky's Farm, check out her videos actually, they're really good fun. She lives down in Florida and she says it's full of flying, biting things, and she doesn't know why she lives there at all. Well, of course she lives there because Florida, I gather, is beautiful. It's where all the Americans go to retire, to get away from the cold. I mean, do you even need a coat in Florida, Pinky? I don't think so. Lynn asked me if I had ever been to Wisconsin in the winter, and yes, I have actually been in the winter. I went to Pepin, Wisconsin over, I think it was between the Christmas and New Year period. And you're talking to somebody here who had never, I mean, I grew up in Britain, and I've lived in Ireland, I've lived in New Zealand, but so up to then I was living in Ireland when I went over there, and I have never seen snow like that in my life before. Not snow that's like, you know, feet thick, and I think one day it was -30 and I had to go walking and it really hurt to breathe. It was amazing. But the most amazing thing was, of course, Pepin has that lake there. I think it's called Pepin Lake, and it has the Mississippi River going through. And there were people driving cars on the lake. It was frozen solid. And I remember, I've got photos of it somewhere, when the lake froze, it's froze in kind of waves at the edge. I just found the whole thing so fascinating and so wonderful. It was like, for me, a sight that I had never seen. So yes, loved it. And I have actually said to my husband that when we retire, let's go there in the winter. Let's experience what real winter is like, because New Zealand's generally a very temperate place, and you do get snow, but much more only up on the mountains really, and maybe down in the South Island. What else was there? Oh yes, shorts. So yes, shorts. So a number of you mentioned your interesting struggles with shorts. I watched this everyday style guide course on body shapes that I won't recommend it as such. I actually found it quite boring, but it talked about proportion and how, like I said before, my long tops were making my legs look short. So actually I've got leggings on today, and but I think actually I probably do have proportionally, that she kind of got you to look at your proportions of body, and I think proportionally I am longer in the body, and that kind of fits because I haven't usually found trousers particularly short, even though I'm 5'8", but they very rarely come up to my waist. They're always too short in the rise. And yeah, so I think if you think about how things, shop walk clothes tend to fit you, you might see a pattern there for yourself and be able to see what your proportions are like. Oh, by the way, what today I'm wearing, this is something that I made last year. This is summer stuff that I've dug out. I think this is called the Cashmerette Webster. Now this top, it's not particularly exciting at the front, but it's all party in the back. Wait and see. So actually, of course, you can't see your own back, but it is nice and loose and flowy for the hot weather. It's been a warmish day today, not terribly hot. Yeah, I think it's good. I was a bit worried it might be a bit too sort of baggy. I don't think I'd make it as a dress because I think the dress, you know, with my big bust, it just kind of sticks out. But yeah, I do like it. I do like it, and I probably will make it again. It's not that common for me to wear sleeveless things, but yeah, as I say, I've been home today and it's been warm. Shorts, going back to shorts again, I haven't finished it. Nancy said that she had given up making shorts and she was making skirts with a yoga band and found that more comfortable. But I have a problem now. When we look at our shapes, some of you have got that beautiful, sexy pear shape, which I think is the epitome of womanhood. I have got like not much here in the hips, but my legs are kind of, they get fat in the middle and they rub together. That is one of my problems with shorts, because another thing that often happens with shorts is as I walk along, some shorts, if they're not either long enough or stiff enough, they actually sort of get eaten up into my crotch, which is not a pretty look, I can tell you. I was on the Curvy Sewing Collective community, and check out their Facebook if you're a curvy sewer. Check out their blog and their Facebook, Curvy Sewing Collective. They talked, that subject came up in their Facebook group, and somebody talked about, you know, you could actually get like stiffeners to go on the inside of your short seam that would stop that from happening. So if you've got like close set hips and quite a fat inner thighs, I think that's a bit of a problem. Probably if your hips, if you're more pear-shaped, that doesn't happen to you. Let me know, what do you think? Yes, Marie said that when I talked about white, you know, getting my whites white, that they're getting a bit yellow over time, she reminded me that there's this kind of blue stuff that you can put in the wash. Now I remember it was called Reckitt's blue bag. It was like in a little, it was like a little canister, and you dropped it into your laundry. And I remember as a child this Reckitt's blue bag, playing with it and getting it all over my hands and face, and my mum getting really annoyed with me. But I haven't seen that for years. I don't think I've seen that probably since I was a teenager. So if you've heard of it in New Zealand, let me know. What else is there? Oh, I haven't actually worked on my shorts this week, mainly because I haven't really been feeling that well. I've had a bit of a low-lying bug. I've done a little bit of sewing, a little bit of sorting out, which I'll cut to in a moment. I did manage to get myself to the Spotlight sale though, where I bought, well, I had a voucher. I think everything was like 30 or 40% off anyway. And then I had a voucher that if you spent $100, you would get 40 off, I think. Well, I ended up buying another cutting mat. I'll show you it here. So I had always had one, and now I've got two. And I can tell you, it's a game changer to have nearly your whole table covered, and you don't have to keep moving things around to get them onto the mat. So I think a good buy. I think that plus some cotton was about $73 New Zealand dollars, so it was really very good value. Right, I'm going to cut through now to the unfinished projects of the week, some cutting out that I've done, a t-shirt I've made, and some repairs, and see you soon. Finished projects here, sitting around, things waiting to be done. I thought I would check in and show you them. Maybe you're a bit like this. I'm getting to the stage now, I realise that just because you can do something doesn't mean you have to. But the first thing I wanted to show you is the blouse I'm wearing. So this blouse, if I move back, it was a little charity shop buy that I bought, well, actually when I was in England in 2017. I liked it a lot because it was before I knew a whole lot about fit anyway. Clearly it's kind of too big here and it's going off my shoulders, but I like the style of it very much. And I think for somebody with a figure like mine who's got such a big bust, it's a great style because it's kind of got built-in extra space in the front. I just picked this up out of the wardrobe, which reminded me that I had kept this blouse to try and make a pattern out of it. But in the meantime, I had come across this pattern and it came up on sale, and so I bought the pattern because I thought it would be quite handy to have the instructions as well, and it wasn't expensive, and it has cup sizes. But it's reminded me that I do want to get on and make one of these. So but right at the moment I have got so much stuff cut out, and I must admit it's all a little bit over the top. So what I've cut out is out of my knits box. My knits box basically was overflowing. I need to use some of the stuff out of it so that I can shut it. I used this here and I cut out. The thing about this fabric, I think it's cotton jersey, but it's got really good stretch in both directions. So I cut out the Ellie and Mac Everyday Tee. Now I might, I'll show you up there. This hasn't even got a picture on it. I might live to regret this, but one thing about buying fabric so cheaply like this from charity shops is, in a way, you feel like, well, I do, I feel like I can experiment. I'm not worried about wasting money. It only cost me a few dollars. But instead of cutting out this tee acrossways, I thought I will cut it out up and down. Oh, that's the back. Yeah, and I might like and I also did take that big long flap off the bottom so that it's long enough but not super long, so I can wear it with shorts. So that's something hopefully wouldn't take too long to make, but it's on my that's on my sewing table. Then I have got, yeah, I put it all in this bag. So one of the reasons I couldn't shut my knit box is I had a great big load of this fabric. Now this is also some kind of a cotton jersey, and gosh, I did buy it very, very cheaply. I have made this top out of it, which is a Cashmerette, not a Concord, it's their other top, I think, long sleeve top, and I like it, but what I do find with this fabric is it doesn't have great recovery, so when it pulls out of shape it tends to stay like that. So I was kind of thinking, well, perhaps I could make some nightwear, and then I got kind of, well, maybe I should have a look and see if I make a dress, a short sleeve like t-shirt dress, then if it doesn't recover and I don't like it very much, I can wear it as a nightie. That one is the Annelaine Clementine. I've made it before. Let me see if I can find it and put it there. That's the kind of shape of it. I've just used that one there. I've made that pattern a few times before actually. It's so dead simple. Great pattern actually. If I ever get a chance to teach my daughter to sew, that's one that I would start with. Oh yes, I also found the Summer Basics tank, the Love Notion Summer Basics. I made one of these last year. And I've basically cut myself out a dress like that in the very same fabric. I had a lot of this fabric. I don't even know how much I had of it, maybe 10 meters or even more. I didn't measure it, but so that would be two dresses that if they don't really work as t-shirt dresses for the summer, then I can just wear them as nighties. And I also did oh yeah, this one is a Cashmerette Concord. So that's 3 things there. No, that's 4 things there that I've got cut out ready to sew. I don't actually find that it makes me feel overwhelmed though. Just because it's cut out, I don't feel like I have to sew it now. Excuse me. As I say, mostly it was just getting it out of my knits box. I've got that much fabric left over. I always feel a bit more, you know, confused about what to do with all these scraps. There's quite a lot of scraps here. Scraps are a bit of a conundrum really, because they're potentially useful, and yet, you know, if you sew a lot, you've got limited storage for all of this. So what do? Do you sort of just say, right, that's it, I'm getting rid of them now, or do you keep them for a while, or what? I think what I might do is get the biggest scraps and put them with the piece I've got left in my little cupboard that I've got leftover knits there, and the rest can go into my cubes that I'm making, which is, it's amazing how much fabric you need to cut to fill up one of these cubes. It's a great way of using up all your fabrics. I mean, even if you never wanted to use the cubes in the end, you could make these. They're very fashion forward, and give them to charity, and you've got rid of all your fabrics and you've made something that they can probably sell for quite a good bit of money. Or I suppose you could sell them yourself. But I digress. So apart from that, the mess in this bedroom is also, look at this now. This here, I made, unfortunately I forgot to take a photo of it. I bought in the charity shop a little jumper. It was probably be made for about a 13-14-year-old. It was clearly hand knitted, not sewn very well together. But when I looked at the wool, I thought, do you know, I think that might even be hand spun wool. It was so nice, and it's all natural, undyed. So I took that jumper, brought it home, kept it for a year, and decided to do something with it, because, you know, I like to make things. I like to make things when I'm watching television, and I don't like following patterns. So I made myself this little wrap, and actually I've already used it once or twice when I've been sort of sitting in the evening and just put something around my shoulders because it's getting a little cool. Now it was, when I unpicked it, it was very kind of crinkly because it had been knitted up, but I quite liked that crinkly look, and I crocheted it back in. And the fringe, I took the crinkles out by just wrapping it around my ironing board and just steaming it as best I could, but it's still got that slight crinkly look. I really like it, actually. So I think that is turned out to be a nice little success. Let me just show you back. It's very natural and very much my vibe. The mending pile. Get this, the old man, he's always wrecking his clothes because he's a builder. He's got a great big rip in the back, and he puts it on my sewing table. I've already repaired this 2 or 3 times. See? You know, he is never going to give up on his clothes. Eventually I have to throw them away. And then I've got this, which is, you know, in New Zealand they no longer give you bags, like plastic bags or anything, so you've always got to have a bag, and I keep this one in my handbag because it rolls up very small. The seams come apart from that. Won't take a minute to fix. These shorts, which were a pair of trousers that I had, they rather emphasised my tummy. I was going to chuck them away, but then I thought, you know, I do need shorts, so I'll make them into shorts. So I've shortened them, hopefully to the right length, and I just need to hem them. I'll let you know what they look like. As I say, I'm going to go on a bit of a quest for shorts. Oh, and the last thing, I knew there was something else. My old office chair had worn out, the seat had worn out of it, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do with this? Do I fix it or whatever? But I thought, well, you know, if I don't fix it, it's going to end up as landfill. I just hate this throwaway culture. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll fix it very simply, and then if I don't use it or find it suitable, in fact, I've got my chair from my office at home at the moment because I'm still working at home. If I don't find it useful, then I'll at least it will look good, and I can put it outside my house, which people do here, and offer it for free or give it to a charity shop. At least it will be something decent to be given over. So yeah, hopefully won't take too long to do that. Well, that's my on the project table. I did actually make up this everyday tee. I'll show it to you in a sec. I brought the neckband in a little bit, sort of maybe about, I don't know, can't remember now, 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch, because it was a bit too wide and it was showing my bra straps. I put a pink band on this one, and of course I turned the fabric up so the stripes go up and down, mainly because it's actually stretchy both ways, this fabric. On the good, I think I like it. I think it's pretty. It sewed up okay. I just sewed it up on my sewing machine. My sewing machine just will not do twin needle in any shape or form. I actually have an old machine that I did successfully use to do twin needle with a walking foot, but my current machine just doesn't seem to want to do it. So I've used zigzag to finish it off the wet neckband and armholes. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, basically it was a very cheap little bit of fabric. I quite like the sort of jolliness of it and the brightness of it. I'll show you now what it looks like. So here it is. The only thing is I did do just turned over hem, and it is a little bit flappy. I guess I could put a band along the bottom, but I don't generally like bands. Quite happy with it. Wouldn't possibly use this everyday tee that's got the grown on sleeve on a fabric as thick as this again, but this is fine. I know I'll wear it. Yeah, but it's much thicker and warmer than I expected, so actually probably won't be quite so much a summer t-shirt as I thought. While I was on holiday, I saw this jewellery in a gift store in Picton, and I just want to show it to you. I'll put a picture up if you can't see it well this way. Actually, I'll take it off. Just want to show it to you. Look at it. So this jewellery was the most exquisite, intricate thing that I ever saw. It's all made out of kind of recycled things. They used recycled coins. This is I think a watch mechanism, and of course it looks a bit like the honeycomb. And you know, it's not my usual level of buying, which would be like $10. It was more like the $50 range. So I went past it on the day, and then afterwards I thought, no, that was what I was going to do. I was going to buy far less things, but I was going to buy, you know, things that I really love from independent makers wherever possible. And I thought, so I got onto their website, which I'll link below. The company's called Rainy Designs, and I looked through and I ordered these earrings, and they came in very good time. And all I can say is I'm just delighted with them. They're so unusual. I just love them because they're not the kind of thing you'd ever see mass produced. They're clearly handmade, recycled, upcycled things. That's all from me today. Always nice talking to you, and I will see you again next week. In the meantime, if you enjoy my content, would you please consider subscribing? A like, I believe, helps the algorithm help other people to find me. And as always, have a great week sewing. Take care. Bye.